go ahead and get started. Welcome, happy Valentine's Day, and happy birthday to Kendra. It is her birthday. So, we still don't have any guidance for next year, but I can tell you based on a call with USDA last Thursday, they're saying look to go back to normal, whatever that may be. If you remember, normal was probably on about March 12th of 2020. So that's really how they feel this is going. They have not been officially told that we're going back to normal for next school year, but with no summer waivers on the horizon and no talk on their calls with the national level that there's going to be anything for next school year. They're leaning towards that, as well as, if you didn't hear, and maybe hearing it for the first time today, they came out with some meal pattern changes for milk, sodium, and whole grain for next year. So that leads them to believe that we're on track to go back to serving normal National School Lunch, School Breakfast program next year. So as far as, I don't have any waiver updates for you right now for the summer or for school year 22-23. Dee's trainings, summer feeding trainings, are well underway, and she is training as if there's no waivers. So the one thing I believe I misspoke a little bit, and it was clarified on our call last Thursday. I misspoke on our last call 2 weeks ago. The Sso Waiver Flexibility that goes until June 30th of 2022, it's nationwide waiver number 85. If you are in an area that is eligible to operate SSO, you may stay on SSO with the flexibilities until June 30th of 22. But if you're not in an area that is normally eligible for SSO, you have to stop the SSO when the day school ends this school year. So let's just take a hypothetical here. I'm going to use Piedmont schools. Typically, Piedmont schools do not qualify for SSO. They don't meet that 50% free and reduced requirement. And so they've been able to serve SSO this school year because of the area eligibility waiver and the SSO flexibilities. But because they don't meet the area eligibility, they have to stop serving on their last day of school. And in my hypothetical situation, that's May 15th. I don't know when Piedmont's out of school. I'm just using May 15th. So that has to stop on May 15th. So if you don't normally fit that criteria of 50% free and reduced by your sites, you've got to stop on your last day of school. That also applies to the at-risk program. At-risk must stop on the last day of school as well. If you're a district that some sites meet the 50% and some sites don't, your sites that do meet the 50% can stay on until June 30th and have the flexibilities. So again, if you have questions, I can't see the chat right now, but when we get to it, if you have a question, we can talk a little bit more about that. I'm operating the slideshow today because I was so late in getting PowerPoint, because I was so late in getting my PowerPoint done. Okay, so if you haven't heard yet, there have been some changes for meal patterns for school year 22-23. One being milk. You are allowed next school year to serve 1% flavored milk. Fat-free is still allowed. So we're talking chocolate, strawberry. I don't even know if they make strawberry and vanilla anymore, but at one time they made chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. And it can be 1%. You can still serve the flavored fat-free chocolate, that's fine, but you can do the 1%. It does also require that an unflavored milk be offered at National School during National School Lunch and Breakfast service. So you could do your 1% flavored, and you could do 1% white. You could do fat-free white. So there you have it. This is also allowed for Smart Snacks, which is good news. Special milk, if you're one of the 3 districts that still does special milk for ages 6 and up, and for our CACFP for ages 6 and up. Excuse me. Okay, so that's milk. The next thing is sodium. A lot of you have been asking about the sodium target that you have to meet for next school year. And I think I luckily last call, I said target 1 and I was right, and I didn't even know it. So yay, no. Next school year, 22-23, you need to maintain target 1 for National School Lunch. And that's effective July 1. And then there will be an you'll have to implement, interim target 1A for National School Lunch in school year 23-24, and that's effective July of 23. Basically what that is that's just going to be a 10% increase from where we are now. But again, let's focus on next school year. You just need to meet target 1. We'll get more information to you regarding the interim target for the next school year. That's a whole nother year, well over a year away. So, and then maintain target 1 for school year 22-23 and school year 23-24, which is effective July 1 of 22. And when I'm done with, well, I'll say it now. There is a webinar for school districts that USDA is having this Wednesday at 1 o'clock our time, Oklahoma time, Central Time. That went out in cars last week, Thursday, I believe. We are going to send it again tomorrow morning. So there is a webinar for this topic, the meal pattern topic, milk, sodium, and whole grain, which I'm going to go to next. Okay, meal patterns. So meal patterns for school year 22-23 whole grain items. At least 80% of the grains offered must be whole grain rich. The remaining grains must be enriched. So if you're a 5-day school, 80% would be 4 days. Your grains have to be whole grain rich, and then on that 5th day, whatever day you choose, they can be enriched. This provides flexibility for program operators to offer enriched grains when whole grain rich items are unavailable or when the whole grain rich item is not acceptable by students. So you have a little bit more flexibility than you did when it was 100% had to be whole grain rich. On that webinar, they will also give you some different scenarios. They had the webinar for state agencies last Wednesday. We watched it. The one for you all will be this Wednesday at 1. Like I said, we're going to send that out through cars, so you'll have that information. But they give you some scenarios on if you have multiple lines in your cafeteria, if you have one line with multiple options, that's going to be something they discuss on that call. So I highly recommend you all tuning into that. And then, of course, we're going to update our information as well at our level. The agency level. We'll get everything updated as well. We're starting work on that. Again, the supply chain assistance funds, we now have the information we need regarding your October 1 enrollment because we got all the low income reports in. Yay. So we will be creating our spreadsheet to be able to send out our attestation statements, letting you know how much yours will be and yes, you want it or no, you don't want it. So there'll be more coming on that. Those will have to be sent back to us, signed off on, and then we will start the distribution of the funds first part of March to mid-March is where we're shooting for. So that's still coming. And like I said, there'll be an attestation statement and it's minimally processed food. We did get a little more guidance from USDA regarding management companies and what they'll have to provide. They will have to provide the district an invoice showing that minimally processed foods, such as milk. Again, USDA's big push is just use this money to buy milk. It's minimally processed. It's an allowable item. Just use it to buy your milk. That's what they're telling us. That's what we're telling you all. So there'll be more on that in the attestation statement as well. Just a reminder, equipment purchase approvals, still anything that's not on the pre-approved list that can be found on P8 of the CNP manual, and it's over $5,000 needs to be approved by me. I need the 2 quotes, I need an email, and typically it's not too much going back and forth. It's pretty cut and dry, but I do have to have the backup documentation. I have to maintain that here as well for audits and management evaluations by USDA, just like you all need to have that documentation on site for review purposes. So following proper procurement and all of that. I can also tell you that we received the list from our OCAS department here at the agency of any district that was over their 3-month operating balance for last school year. So that information will be going out. Our goal is by next week. Those will be going out to you with the amount. So you'll have to, there'll be a letter that goes to you and tells you what you have to do if you've exceeded that. And a lot of you already know you have, and some of you have been asking to spend that down and spend that money. So we'll be getting that out here within the next week. And again, procurement, got to do the procurement, 2 quotes. If it's over $250,000, you need to do formal and send the 2 quotes out. Otherwise, you can do micro purchasing or small purchase and just get phone quotes, emails. They could send you quotes, fax. There's faxing that still goes on. I know it's not very often, but they can get you that information. Still doing reviews, both child nutrition administrative reviews as well as procurement reviews. So you're probably, some of you might even be dealing with that right now, but those are still happening, just as a reminder. And I did not get this updated. So we do, oh gosh, sorry, I scrolled and I shouldn't have. We do have, last week we had to cancel a summer food service training, and we apologize for that. So if you were enrolled in last Thursday's summer food training, it's tomorrow. And then there's one on Thursday as well. So there was a change and a link that went out for those changes. And I think anybody that was in last Thursday's, they got moved to another one. So I think we are probably okay with that, just FYI. And then I discussed with you PEBT last call, and nothing's changed with that. I do think the calls, dare I say, have died down a little bit regarding, hey, I need a case number. And the card company was telling the parents to call the school for a case number when that wasn't true. They had to call DHS. So right now we're still, I think the system to make the corrections is really close to being done. We're crossing our fingers, and so that we can get corrections made and get some of the people who were potentially left off corrected. So there's really no new updates with PEBT right this minute. And then I'm going to go to the chat now and go to questions. So I'm going to stop sharing. Excuse me. Oh, I didn't. There we go. Okay, I'm back. Okay, there may not be any questions. I'm not seeing too much in there. Yeah, what Edgar put in there, only sites that are at least 50% free and reduced can continue to participate on SSO after the last day of school for the summer. That's correct. Oh, you were clarifying that for someone maybe. Okay. Yes, Pam, the 50% is based on this year's low income report. That is correct. Shauna. I believe that to be correct. Shauna, your part about, sorry, I forget, some of you can't see the chat and I forget to read it sometimes. If I have 7 things that are whole grain daily at the mid highs, and that's about 77%, that would be not in compliance. That's correct, but I can tell you that this is a topic that they're going to have on the Wednesday webinar. So I advise you to tune into that too. They have several slides and examples and scenarios on that topic. So okay, so we've got some stuff going in the chat. Let's see, will they have to eat on site or can they still do grab and go? Okay, so if you're one of the sites that can continue operating SSO after June 30th, the mealtime, the non-congregate, and the parent pickup stops for everyone on June 30th. So if you're able to continue on SSO once your school year ends, because you meet that 50% free and reduced by site, you have those flexibilities till the June 30th. But once June 30th hits, we're done with waivers. We're done with nationwide waivers. Okay, so Jim, can we use SSO for park? I'm assuming you're meaning like parks in your community, but I believe SSO's got to be served on at a site, but I may need to check on that if that, oh, that's your answer. I need to double check on that for you. I'm sitting at a different spot in my office, so I don't have a piece of paper. I will double check. Okay. Dana, you're not allowed to ask questions. Kendra, you need to block Dana. I'm just kidding. Okay, did you say, yes, we're going to send a link for the USDA webinar on the meal patterns in the morning through CARS. We are. That will go tomorrow. We sent it Thursday. I was going to tell you about it today, and then we're going to send it tomorrow so that you have it for Wednesday. Yeah, CEP school, yes, you can still do SSO, yes. Dana, why are they stopping? Because what we were told on our call Thursday, and this was clarified because other states on the call 2 weeks ago, I had misspoke that everybody could stay on SSO till June 30th. Well, there were other states in the region that thought the same thing, and it was clarified on the USDA call Thursday that it is only for because the area eligibility ends when the school year ends. And so this is the case with this waiver too, 85. Correct, Shauna, no curbside grab and go after June 30th. That is correct. Because all yours meet your CEP. Okay, I need to write your name by that, Jim. We hope to have the 3-month operating information to the districts by next week. We did get that from OCAS on Thursday, I believe. Late Wednesday or Thursday. And then I was out on Friday. And so that's our goal, is to have it. We've got 2 big goals. We've got our supply chain money and we've got our 3-month operating to get out. So if our elementary is 50% and high school is not, can we serve them both free on SSO? No, you can only do your elementary. Whoever just asked if the elementary is 50%, but the high school is not, can we serve them both free on SSO until June 30th? You wouldn't be able to operate out of your high school. You could do your elementary school. This could push some of you to summer feeding. You are correct. And that was mentioned on the call as well. That is correct. Now, those of you that can stay on SSO, you will still receive the higher summer feeding reimbursement that you're receiving right now until June 30th. That's okay. Yeah, some of you may have told Dee, yep, but that's okay. We had some little bit of misinformation, miscommunication there, and so that's okay. We'll work. We can get it done. It's okay. Does the summer program allow waivers curbside and time? No, summer feeding does not. There are no waivers for summer feeding this year. Dee's program, summer food service program, there's no waivers. Nope, it's congregate. It's nobody can come pick it up. They can't take it away. You got to eat. The times have to be the time frame. You can't do breakfast and lunch at the same time. We're going back, folks. We're going back to summer of, gosh, the last time we would have done that way is summer of 19. That's amazing to me. Krista, can I share the recording of this call with my assistant superintendents? I guess you can. We typically put it online, so it'll be there. Well, Billy, as far as the supply chain on food and the new meal patterns, it kind of came up on the state agency call and it kind of didn't. I mean, somebody put something in the chat and it was briefly mentioned that by no means does USDA necessarily think that just because they're going to go back to normal, all the supply chain issues and everything go away. but they're also in the same breath kind of saying, insinuating, they didn't say it, I'll say they're insinuating that's in August, and August for us, September for other states, because they start in September. So they're making the assumption it might be better or much improved by then. So just letting you know, that's kind of where they went with that. And I'm not going to say that something doesn't rear its head on this whole scenario, and there's another variant that comes through and we have issues. But right now, I've got to go with what we know. This whole time with this program during COVID, we've gone with what we know. And what we're hearing right now is the pushes to go back to normal NSLP, SBP. Not going to tell you that it couldn't change, because we've seen that many a time. What was it, a call, I don't know, a year or so ago, and they were saying go back to normal NSLP, and literally less than a week later it changed. So just keep that in mind. I'm just giving you the information I have as I have it, and that's at 1:53 on February 14th. Now tomorrow at 1:53, you never know, but that's kind of where we're going right now. Okay, some of you have put, oh, somebody said going old school. That's right. Nothing changed with PEBT as far as from the last call. The system to make the corrections by the school is not quite ready yet, so we still have some time. I'm gonna have to get up for just a second and grab my charger because I'm gonna lose power. So I apologize. I just looked down and it says you're in power saving mode. So give me just a second. I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So is that starting after school gets out? Shauna, so is that starting after school gets out? SFSP, no curbside, etc., or June 30th? There are 0 waivers for summer feeding, whether in our office, Julie is asking who do we contact about CEP. In our office, it's Nikki Assad, nikki.assad. Edgar, can you put her email in the chat? I think it's ASSAD. I apologize. She's probably on the call going, she doesn't know how to spell my last name. I'm just drawing a blank. She deals with CEP and provisions, but we can answer questions too. Others can too. Yes, Dana, all the supply chain assistance funds will make the supply chain issues go away. You're right. You know that. You know what I'm dealing with right now, girl. Oh, it jumped. I'm sorry. Yes, everyone right now is receiving the summer feeding rates, but serving SSO. Yes. Let's see. Sorry, it jumped again on me. Yes, these recordings are on cars. We have to, it takes a little bit after the call to get it up because we have to put closed captioning to it. And so we send this to someone and they take the Zoom link to someone and they take care of that. So, okay, this year, Pam, whoops, it jumped on me, sorry. Low income was so far off what it normally is due to parents. Sorry, it jumped again. Not filling out applications. Now my admin said the state goes off our census. Well, okay. So and I'm not well versed in title program funding, but my understanding is if the population of your city is 20,000 or more, this district can use census. So that probably fits more, Pam. So that may be why your district's telling you that. Okay, Nikki's address, Julie, is in the chat. Pam Bode, it depends if your site is 50 area eligible, 50% free and reduced on what you do. So that's what it depends on. If the site, if you have more than one site and they're 50% free and reduced, then you can stay on SSO until June 30th. But if they're not, you have to stop your last day of school. We're going to send that out in cars, but Dee can get you the link for the training. Jim is offering some help in Gyms Without Mogi for CEP. There's the link. Thank you, Dee. There's the link. Okay, I'm at the end of my, oh, no, there's another one. Oh, okay. Kendra, you have a happy birthday in the chat. Anybody else have anything? Does SSO have to do, no. If you're going to do SSO, you don't have to do the summer feeding training, no. Summer feeding is its own program and training. Anyone else? Oh, I did have something else. Becky, you want to tell them? Let's put Becky on the spot. Are you on the call, Becky? That's really putting you on the spot. Maybe, maybe not. She may have gotten tied up on the phone. Becky Gray. Okay. Anyway, what I was supposed to reiterate. You're right. She did answer a question in the chat. Okay, anyway, as a reminder, I was asked by my people in the office, oh, Becky's mic's not working. Okay, you're off the hook. You got a broken mic. Okay, so as a reminder, the school side this morning asked if I would remind you all that you need to claim in the SSO on your claims by site. You can't just put all your sites under one. So if you have a couple elementaries, a middle and a high school, you've got to break your meals out on the claim to each site. So we've said that before, but just as a reminder, that came up this morning. And that's the last of my duties. Notes, I mean, Jim, I'm going to check on that. Serving at parks. Something in the back of my head, and it's just not clicking why I'm hesitant to answer that. But I will find out and email you. Okay, does anybody else have anything? Anyone? I don't want to keep you for no reason. We all have plenty to do, I know, me included. Okay. We are going to plan on having the next call in 2 weeks, which will be the 28th of this month, short month. So I'm planning on having it just because I just feel like we need to even if we just touch base for a little bit, I think it's beneficial for everybody. I am not anticipating anything new coming out, especially from the call last Thursday with USDA. I just don't think there's going to be really any new guidance or anything coming out. Ruth Ann, there's actually a comparison chart in the Child Nutrition Manual that compares the two programs, Summer Feeding and SSO. You might look at that, our Child Nutrition Manual. Somebody has messaged me, will we continue calls after we go back to normal? I think that maybe in the beginning we might, because I think that everybody needs to be reminded of what normal is. I know a lot of you in your schools are dealing with new people who may have started during COVID and don't know anything different than what you're doing right now. And so we might need to just have a refresher call. We maybe won't do it every 2 weeks, but I certainly don't think it would hurt in the beginning to have one on a more regular basis, and then maybe depending on how things go, maybe do one on a monthly basis. I'll be honest, I haven't quite thought that far ahead, clearly because I put the PowerPoint together about 15 minutes before the call started today because of everything that's going on. So, but I certainly don't think it would hurt. And even, I mean, maybe even going forward come March, after we have our call in 2 weeks, maybe we go to a once a month call until the end of the year. I don't know. What do you all think? Do y'all have any preference? What do you want to do? I don't want to waste anyone's time. We are all busy with everything that's going on. I'm open for suggestions and willing to continue a monthly call as long as we need to. I'm okay. I'm, again, willing to do what you all feel would be best. Okay. Continue call. Yeah, it looks like maybe keep meeting once a month, most likely is what some of these are looking like. I think even those of us, somebody put in here, I'm still new and don't know what really normal is. I think a lot of us who've been on for years are wondering what normal is going to be like. Looks like we've got somebody retiring in June. So it looks like maybe you guys could see continuing on the call in June, but I think once a month, at least once a month. You want to continue? Okay. Well, for sure, then you know, we'll plan a call in 2 weeks, and then in March, maybe we'll do one in March. I don't know. I'll think about it and we'll talk internally too. But even for next school year, I think I agree. I think it would probably be beneficial for everyone if we at least had a monthly call, and I'm good with that. So we'll plan on that then. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, and I think that SNA meetings are going to start back too, and maybe SNA will have an in-person conference next year, meaning local, Oklahoma SNA. So maybe, I hope. Somebody's saying yes. Several of the people that are involved are saying yes, so that's good. It's a work in progress. A lot of things are. Okay, wait, I missed one. Will there be information sent when PEBT gets figured out? I believe there'll be some information that goes out. Keep in mind, we're going to have a training how to make corrections in the system when that system's done. So there will be a training on how to do that. So again, don't have a date, but that's still coming. So we will send stuff out through our CAR system to you all, which would be to administration and to child nutrition staff. And then I know that other departments in the agency that have played a role in helping with this process will send stuff out as well. Most likely, probably in the parent, even in the parent newsletter, good grief. The administrative newsletter that goes out with the agency, I'm sure there'll be some information there. I'll make sure there is, because that might be me having to give them that. But so yeah. Becky has chimed in. We still have several schools that have not completed their verification reports. Thanks, Becky. I forgot about that. So, and that's, remember, your 60-day deadline for claims too. So we need verification reports. The deadline for your December claim is February 29th, but there is no February 29th this year. It's not leap year. So it'd be March 1st, right? We don't have a 29th. Oh, it's jumping again. I apologize. Yeah, March 1st. Your December claim is due by March 1st, but we also you got to do verification report. Will we get information on what we need for management company and how it's to be handled before deciding whether we want to accept the funds or not? It'll be in the attestation statement, what they'll have to provide you. And it's really up to the district whether they want the funds. It's not up to the management company whether they accept the funds for the supply chain. So, okay. All right, anything else? Going once, going twice. Have a great, oh, I get a message saying that I have claims that need certifying, but I'm able to do that. Okay, Jennifer Mosley needs help. Jennifer Mosley, can you put in the chat real quick what district you're with? We will get with you. Hartshorn. Okay. Becky's going to give you a call. Okay. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your Valentine's Day. And have a good couple weeks, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. If you need anything, reach out to us. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. Bye.